Hello friends, it's Chromatic Sauce and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, what are we doing? We're gonna be watching me tattoo the beginning of my sunflower tattoo. Now I'm not sure what I did in this video. I think I just did all the dark shading in the sunflowers and then I maybe finished the butterfly too, but let's get into it and see what we're doing. Before we get too deep into it, I want to say don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you think of these tattoo videos. Let me know what you'd like to see next. If there's any critiques on format, definitely let me know. I'm still figuring it out at this point. So I definitely love to hear your feedback. And let me know what kind of designs you'd like to see from me because I really love this one. And if you want a tattoo like this, definitely head to my website, chromaticsauce.com. Fill out a booking form, send me a picture of this one, and be like, I want something cute like this. And we can hook it up. Maybe you could be on YouTube. Anyway, I'm being so weird. So for this one, obviously, starting with the dark colors, I always usually start with the dark colors first. I know some people will do like a process, like finish it more like a printer, like I explained in that one video, where you can like start from the bottom and work your way up. This one, I definitely just wanted to get the dark colors first. I don't know, this client usually sits pretty well. She's gotten a few other tattoos from me, so I knew she'd be able to sit for a while. The lower leg does suck a little bit. It hurts a little bit more than like whenever we did her arm. But I did do the other side of her lower leg and she was fine. So I knew she would probably be pretty good. But I still would always prefer to get like the framework in, you know, because this is a pretty big tattoo. Like I said in the previous video, think of like a printer paper 8x11. It pretty much fits on a printer paper, but like the full sheet. So it's a pretty big tattoo, taking up her whole calf. I keep wanting to say thigh. I'm like, thigh tattoos are my favorite, I think, on myself and like other people, I think. But calves are a close second, and then maybe like arms somewhere. I don't know why we're ranking tattoo placements. But usually the darks to get the framework. That way, if she needs to go, like if it hurts too bad, whatever the case is, sometimes you just have a bad day. That way that framework's all there. I don't need my stencil. For a lot of this, I was just using water to wipe because, first of all, the color, you can't just dry wipe color. First of all, that's bullying. Not really, but I wanted to keep my stencil. Those circles at the bottom and at the top, I did not outline. I wanted it to be more of a blurry, like soft focus thing, like sort of like playing with the lights. So I definitely didn't want to erase the outline of the stencil, so I used water. And that's why I have them so thick too, the lines for the circles, because I knew that would be towards the end. So I don't even do that in this video, but if you can see, I have a reason for needing the stencil, and part of it is the shapes of the sunflower. So I'm like, let me get, first of all, I did all the dark in the middle. I felt like the brown middle. I'm like, let me just get that over with. It was like most of the dark colors, and I just like finished out the blend with the lighter colors of that. Figured it'd be easier than like going back into it, like deciding to later. And then, what was I saying? And then I still had a bunch of stencils in the petals of the flower that I probably didn't need, but I definitely, if I can keep the stencil and be able to use it for a guideline, I'd rather it be there. So I was like, let me just use water. I don't want the soap to like wipe away the stencil because the soap will kind of wash it off eventually. The water sort of lightens up the stencil a little bit, but it doesn't necessarily take it off. Sometimes, I mean, the stencil's meant to stick, so it doesn't always come off super easily. Another thing I did with this one is I used a different, instead of regular stencil stuff that I normally use, I bought this one stencil stuff that a tattoo artist that I've gone to multiple times. I used the same stuff he used when he did my sternum, like upper belly kind of, it's not really my sternum, my upper belly kind of tattoo. I don't know, he used it, it seemed really sticky, and he was like, oh, this is really good, and he was talking it with his coworkers, so I was suckered in a little bit, so I went online and bought it after that, But I haven't really used it because I haven't been doing as much like full-on realism and not really big pieces that I'm like, oh, I really need to keep the stencil. But I was like, this piece is a little bit bigger, and I knew I wanted to keep the stencil for a long time. So I'm like, if there's a time to use this versus regular stencil stuff, I'm going to do it. Just because, like, I don't even know if it's more expensive than stencil stuff. I didn't even compare the price, but I was like, it felt more special. You know, when you buy something like a little expensive or whatever, you're like, I can't use it. But so, like, it's just going to waste. But I was able to use that for this one. It's like green and sticky. I can never remember what it's called. It's like, it starts with a K. Maybe not. It's like, I couldn't tell you. Anyway, that's kind of beside the point. So I went in with the black. I didn't really need the stencil in there, but I figured it was probably about to fade anyway. The only part of the stencil that really faded on me was the star at the bottom, like under my thumb around now. Like the star underneath the butterfly, actually. So I did that, and I think I did all the green shading. There's like a sunflower like facing backwards behind them. So I was like, let me do all these dark green shading. And I also used a dark green mixed with the dark like orange that I used to get the depth of the petals of like the shading in the petals. And I really liked how it turned out. Let me know what you think. Like if you're a tattoo artist, what do you use for like dark tones in sunflowers? Like this was, it sort of matched my reference. So I went with like a greenish tone, but let me know what you use to deepen up like your yellow tones. Like what do you use? Cause I'm definitely open to learn. Like I was rambling on about in the other video. Always open to learn. Every tattoo I do, I'm like, I evaluate how it looks, what could I improve upon? Like, even if I'm like, wow, this is my best tattoo yet, I'm always so hypercritical of my own stuff. I want to look and be like, what can I improve upon? So I was really happy with my contrast in like a lot of this tattoo. Sometimes that's what I feel like I struggle with the most, but I feel like I'm glad that I've started doing like that black stipple shading. I think I want that to be more my style for like, even in color tattoos, have that as like a base, a skeleton, because it really does, like, if you're using just black to stipple it in, it doesn't cause too much trauma, but it really does give you like nice bones for the tattoo. And I kind of think the texture of the stipple shading is cool underneath, like it's a cool look underneath the color, sort of like when you do color over top of freckles, because I always think that's so satisfying. I have one tattoo, I don't know if I have a picture on my account. I did like a traditional rose on top of another traditional rose I did, but the second one was all color, and this guy had so many freckles, and I just thought that looked so cool. I just thought the color looked so cool to see the freckles through the red, because red is kind of translucent compared to other colors. I mean, the skin's going to show over it anyway, but some colors would probably do a better job of masking the pigment in the freckles, but I don't know, the freckles give you a nice like natural texture in your tattoos. Anyway, she doesn't even have freckles. I don't even know if she has, I don't know if she's got freckles, but not here. Anyway, so after I did the darkness in the petals, oh yeah, because I was talking about the stipple shading. I'm all over the place. I'm just a scatterbrain. But after I did the darkness in the petals, that was like the most saturated part of it. Then I went in with like a dark like brownish orange kind of thing. Or I guess it was like a darker, it's like orange but like darker. I don't remember the name of it. I think it might have been called like Tiger or something. And I feel like I really like the color. This is the first time I've used this color for like an application like specifically like this as like a darker tone of yellow. I'm like, maybe I could have used like a touch browner. Like I said, let me know what you guys do. Like, do you use straight up brown for the shading in like a sunflower? Or do you do other things? I'd like to know. But I always tell my clients, like, if you feel like it needs more contrast, like if it heals different than you expect, because sometimes colors like will heal lighter or darker or whatever. I'm always saying come back for a touch up because I'd like to see how it heals, and if it does need a little bit more of a bump in contrast, let me know. But I think it was pretty good. But you never know how things are gonna heal. Like I'm still in a phase where I'm really like learning and absorbing information. And every year, like, I don't even have any tattoos that I've done that's 5 years old yet. So I don't really have the knowledge of what's the future. I only have the knowledge of anything I've asked my mentor, the people around me, and just like knowledge from learning about it over the years in general. But I think the color was pretty good. I'm like, maybe I could have gone darker, but I don't think it was like necessarily. We'll see how it heals. I'm sure she'll come back for another tattoo. I'm always like so critical too. Like, this is something that like me or maybe like another tattoo artist would be like, like maybe it could be like this, but like any person walking, any random person walking down the street can still look at the tattoo and be like, man, that's incredible. You know what I mean? Like, no one else would notice besides like someone who's like hyper aware and like super critical of that stuff. So it's not like it's like a bad effect. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just like talking smack about myself. And then I try to do better next time. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better with it. So I'm definitely happy with how this turned out. I'm all over the place. But yeah, so I think this was the last stage that I did. I did the butterfly after the darkness in the petals. What I did there was I did like dark blue to like blend at the outsides because it was a pink butterfly, but it had sort of purpley tones. But I wanted to get it a little bit more darker and enriched. I feel like whenever I do pink, I'm like, it's always kind of light. So I'm like, let me make sure the purple's going to have that saturation that I want. So I was like, let me create the purple with a dark blue. And then when the pink's over top of it, it's definitely going to be a dark purple. So I used a dark blue, and then I even used my liner to like stipple in a little bit of like dark magenta-y kind of color. What is that color called? It's like Bordeaux or something. And I don't remember what color blue I used. Maybe like ultramarine or something. Just a nice like deep blue. Nothing too crazy dark. Oh, and for the dark green on the petals, I used that color concentrate that I used on the Hulk tattoo. The deep green, but I mixed it with this like orange color that I'm using currently. That like darker orange. So I thought that was the exact tone that I needed. Like kind of like a little bit muddy, not super dark green, but like I like how dark I was able to get that green so that we have nice contrast on the flower, like where it's shadowy, and then the other flower is a little bit brighter, like it's a little bit more like pure yellow. It's like super pretty. So I'm definitely happy with like my color choices. It's just a matter of like, could I have used a little bit more contrast? I usually always think yes. But yeah, so I blended that orange with the green, and then I just used the straight up orange for all the other like the mid-tones of the petals. And then you'll see in the next video that I layer in, I think I only layered in one other color. I think I just layered in yellow. But the next color you'll see me working on the background, which was definitely a challenge because I don't know, I designed that way back when. Like, I probably wouldn't design something exactly like this, but I'm definitely happy to have some clients that are willing to let me play around and do what I can. And I've known this client for a really long time, even before I've been tattooing. So I'm like, she'll be good. Like, if she needs anything, she can let me know. Like, if it heals weird, I don't think it'll heal weird. I was like actually really happy with how it turned out, but it was definitely like a challenge that I might not give myself that exact challenge in a future tattoo, but I thought it was like kind of a cool effect. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. Definitely come back for the next video to see me do the background and then just to finish out the tattoo. It's definitely worth it. It definitely comes to life in the next video. So definitely worth checking out in my opinion. And then definitely check out the line work of this video. The line work of this tattoo in one of my last videos that I posted. I've been posting a lot of my tattoos. So come get tattooed if you want to be on YouTube. You gotta have a fun idea, because I make no guarantees. And who knows, like if I get too popular, I can't edit this much. It's been a lot of work, but I really have been enjoying the putting my energy into it. It's definitely super fun to like film and share my stuff on YouTube, because it feels like it makes sense to me versus like some other social media. I don't even know if does YouTube count as social media per se. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any like opinions on color, like if you're a tattoo artist, what do you normally use? I'm definitely open to hear your feedback. Constructive criticism only, like I said. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you. See you in the next one. Bye. Friggin' hot. I've been saying that in every video, but it's not even the summer yet. It'll be even hotter. That's okay.